Hi, this is Jonathan Ginsberg, and today I'd like to talk to you about something called means testing. And means testing is really a very important part of bankruptcy as the law is now configured. And it's really income testing. Means testing is really income testing, and it's used to determine whether or not you qualify to file bankruptcy, and if so, what type of bankruptcy you can file. So means testing is really income testing. And if you think about it, means testing or income testing is used elsewhere in law. Income tax returns are based on means testing. The more income you have, the more tax you pay. If you collect food stamps, your qualification for food stamps is a determination based on how much money you earn. If you pay child support, you know that a judge's decision about how much you pay or how much you receive will be determined on somebody's gross income. So again, means testing is very common, and it's made part of the bankruptcy law as of 2005. Before 2005, it did not apply. Now it does. And in bankruptcy, means testing is really used for two purposes. One, do you qualify to file Chapter 7 bankruptcy? Chapter 7 being the kind of bankruptcy where you're able to wipe out debts like unsecured creditors, credit card debt, medical bills, signature loans, and so forth. So means testing determines whether or not you qualify for Chapter 7, and it also qualifies you for Chapter 13. If you do not qualify for Chapter 7, means testing tells us how much you have to pay back those unsecured creditors in a Chapter 13. So it does apply both in Chapter 7 and Chapter 13. And not surprisingly, means testing involves a lot of math. It's kind of like doing a tax return in that regard. And fortunately, we have very powerful computer programs that are available to bankruptcy lawyers like myself that allow us to run means test calculations. Now, I will tell you that sometimes the results come out unfair. And we have to look for exceptions. We have to look for ways to kind of get around some of these unfair aspects of the bankruptcy law. And we've got to push the envelope, really, to get a fair result. And I'll give you an example. Means testing looks at your income for the 6 months preceding the month you file. So not the current month, but the last 6 months. And if you get paid biweekly, meaning if you get paid every 2 weeks, you know that there are some months you get 3 paychecks, and there are some months you get 2 paychecks. And if in the last 6 months, if that 6-month look back, you have three paycheck months, then your means test numbers are going to be skewed. Most months, most of the time, you're going to have 2 3-paycheck months. Sometimes you may even have 1. And so knowing that and knowing how to look for doing the what-if scenarios and how to look for the appropriate months make a really big difference as to A, whether you file Chapter 7, and if you do get put into a Chapter 13, how much you have to pay back. And I think that means test calculations really are an essential function for a lawyer. I get real concerned when I hear people tell me that a paralegal or a non-lawyer ran the means test for them, because really this is what lawyering is all about. I mean, we've got to keep up with what the rules are in the Northern District of Georgia, where I practice certainly for cases filed here, keep up with what's going on in the 11th Circuit, which is our federal judicial circuit. And even some of the things that the trustees, the local trustees, are doing. Are they objecting to certain calculations? Are they objecting to us putting things in various places? So you really have to know that. So in my view, running means test numbers is really an essential function for a lawyer. So I would tell you, if you're considering bankruptcy, even remotely, even if it's just something you're thinking that maybe might be appropriate down the road for you, let us help you figure out where you stand with regarding the means test. At my office, Ginsberg Law Offices, I regularly run means test calculations for people who are not necessarily ready to file bankruptcy, but they just want to know if they were to file, how close are they? What happens if they get a bonus? What happens if they lose their job? This is all what we call pre-bankruptcy planning. And knowing the means test numbers, even in a big picture sense, is very, very helpful. So there are a lot of people I work with, and it may be that they're planning on filing fairly quickly, or maybe, again, it's something that we're going to hold in our office, hold in our file for 6 months or even a year. I regularly talk to people that I heard from a year and a half ago. We ran the initial numbers that gave them some ideas as to what they might need to do, and they come back, and now we're starting from at least, not starting from scratch again. So if you're thinking that bankruptcy may even be a remote possibility, or if it's even more immediate, call us. The form is on this website, and have us follow up with you. Call us, call myself or one of the attorneys that works with me. And we'll run the means test numbers. We'll tell you where you stand with regard to these calculations, how it works for you, and really whether bankruptcy even should be considered as an option for you, because sometimes it's not. And I've always said that bankruptcy is a last resort. It should be, but again, you need to know where you stand. So this, again, is Jonathan Ginsberg. I appreciate your watching, and I look forward to hearing from you, either with questions or comments, and please let me know. Thanks a lot.